Yes, today Malcolm Brodie announced he will not seek re-election as the mayor of Richmond. When he wraps up his term next year, he would have served as mayor for 25 years and 30 years on council. So joining us right now is the Richmond Mayor Malcolm Brodie. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Gloria.
Okay, well, we've had so many occasions to speak over the years. So after what will be 25 years for you, why? Why the decision now to hang up your mayoral hat?
Well, I spent 27 years in my law practice, and now I've followed that with being in my 24th year as mayor of the city. We have a real tradition and a history in the city of Richmond of having long-serving mayors. For instance, since 1973, we've only had three mayors. One served for 17, and one served for 11 years, and I'm serving for 24. So we have a history of long-serving mayors, and I'm looking forward to some of the issues that are involved in the city, and I can see that there are many that really require diligence and oversight and leadership far more than for just the next few years. So I think that the time is right, have a new person in the position under those circumstances and go from there.
Well, take us back. What was it that attracted you to municipal politics in the first place?
I started helping out people on the organizational side, and then I ran successfully for council in 1996. I found that there was a great deal that could be done on the local level, and it certainly far more appealed to me than trying to work at any other level, federal or provincial politics. And so, having come out of the volunteer sector, it just was kind of an extension of that when I ran successfully for council. And then in 2001, Greg Halsey-Brandt, my predecessor, went to Victoria as an MLA, opening up the spot, and so I ran successfully. But it's really a matter of working with the people and with the businesses in our community, and that was what appealed to me.
What would you say are some of the biggest changes that you've seen in the area, in Richmond, since serving on council?
Well, first of all, it's sheer numbers. I mean, I don't know the exact growth figures, but there has been substantial growth in the city of Richmond, and also diversity has been very big in our city, with being one of the most diverse populations in all of Canada. In the early days, I would focus on kind of on the infrastructure projects. There was the Canada Line. We were able to have that introduced in the early 2000s. And we also were part of the Olympic Games with the Richmond Olympic Oval during that time. But that's kind of only scratching the surface. You think to the environmental side. Okay, we put in the water meters, which has saved exponentially on our use of water as a city. Think of district energy, where we have about 6 or 7 million square feet of residential and a bit of commercial space that is heated and cooled by non-fossil fuels, and that's going to go up tenfold in the next number of years. On the recreation side, we have a new city center, community center, and we've expanded our trails and our walkways and our basic facilities. We put in the new Minru Center for Active Living. On the housing front, we are really the first in the region to have an affordable housing strategy starting in 2007. It's been very, very successful in generating units for people that don't have the resources otherwise to live in our city. And of course, going forward, we're looking at a real situation where we're densifying, the province is mandating that, and also trying to work on affordability of the housing units. So, you look at those and so many other issues, that there have been so many changes in the city of Richmond. It is quite a different city than it was when I first got involved.
Right. Well, okay, that was quite the list. You've been busy. You've been busy for the last few decades. What about things that you wish you'd been able to tackle?
Well, after that period of time, it doesn't leave a lot of room for you to say, well, if I had more time, I would have done this, that, or the other. Um, no, I don't think in terms of that, the missed opportunities. I think of what's coming in the future. For instance, give you the best example right now. The Cowichan First Nations land decision is potentially devastating to the city of Richmond. And so for the next year, I'll be dedicating quite a bit of my time on the appeal of that decision. But that is going to have to go forward to the Court of Appeal, which will take a couple of years, and then probably to the Supreme Court of Canada. But it's absolutely critical to our city that that decision be reversed. So that's just one example of where my energies need to lie in the next while.
In the next while. And what about beyond you now? I mean, what would you say will be the biggest challenges facing the next mayor of Richmond?
Well, I think it's the kind of thing we've already talked about. Certainly the Cowichan decision is one of the biggest challenges. Housing of density and affordability, the preservation of the environment and the lowering of the greenhouse gas emissions, the recreational opportunities. Those will be just a few of the many, many challenges that will face my successor.
Now, Mayor Brodie, you've also had a number of Metro Vancouver roles. Metro Vancouver seems to be at a real crossroads right now. So what would you like to see with Metro Vancouver's governance?
Well, there's a governance task force that's taking a look at that situation. The only thing I can say for sure, I think that the size of the board, which is now 40 plus, needs to be reduced. Now, the weighting of votes and the proportional weighting of votes as between cities, that needs to stay the same. But you can do that by adjusting your formulas and having half the number of directors. So to have a board of 20 instead of a board of 40 plus, I think would work far better. There will be other suggestions made for governance changes. I'm really waiting to see what they are. But I think they're all, they're going to be positive.
Right. Now, I know this is like it's like an exit interview, but I know you've still got a lot of work to do. So I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to chat again before you do actually step down. But what's next? What will you have time to do that you haven't had time to do as mayor?
Well, the role of mayor, along with your regional roles, it's a very demanding role. And so my family, in large part, has paid the price for that. So the first thing I want on the top of my list will be to devote more time and attention to my family, to my wife, who has been very engaged in the community as well. But I have children and grandchildren, and they deserve more of my time and attention. So that'll be the first thing. The other situation is that I first got involved, as I say, when I came out of the volunteer community, and I think that there's a lot of scope for assisting the volunteer community in so many of the ways that they work to make our community better. So probably we'll be devoting some time and attention to that.
Okay. Well, again, I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk more and look back at your long career as mayor of Richmond. But we really appreciate your time today. Now that you've made the announcement to step down.
Thank you, Gloria. We'll talk anytime you wish.
Appreciate that. That is Malcolm Brodie. He's the mayor of Richmond, and he announced he will not be seeking re-election next year.